Hello everyone. Just waiting to make sure everything is up. I always sit here looking and it doesn't tell me it's on, but then in the video later, I see that it is. So just want to say hello. There we go. We are up. Welcome to the Open Journal this week, Wednesday, June 16th. I'm so excited to be here as always, and just thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Meg Williams, and the whole idea of the Open Journal is that I like to come to you every week. I have these grand wells of wisdom, and I used to think that this wasn't allowed. I used to think that it wasn't okay to dip my toes into so many different things. There's that saying about the like jack of all trades, but master of none. And I've come to realize that we are multi-dimensional humans, and we have these many roles that we play, and we have these many things that we're good. So to fool ourselves and tell us that we can't be master of many is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm here for all of you masters of all, and this is what I like to bring through is some of the things that I have put my heart and soul into developing, and these are sort of my fields of wisdom, my wells of wisdom. So I like to be here connecting with you all during these wild times of 2021 to bring you some love and light, to bring you some community, to bring you a space where we can come and connect. And I'm going to talk about things like yoga, mindfulness, sacred pleasure. I'm going to talk to you about energy medicine. I'm going to talk to you about amazing biz tips that are going to blow your mind. And so it's really special to me to be here. And I absolutely love getting to share the space with you all. So if there's ever anything that you want me to go more into, that you want to know more about, things that you'd love for me to expand on, please write in the comments below. I absolutely love connection myself. So I love hearing from you, and I want to show up and, be speaking and bringing things through on topics that totally resonate with you. So what I'd really like to do is I always start with my cards. And today's was really a very real card pull. I had to sit and go, okay, because I've been pulling this card a couple times and it's been one that I haven't been super stoked to pull. So I feel like it's actually really important to come on and speak into this with you guys. So the first card, so I pulled three, and when I pull three from this deck, this is the same with many decks, but I don't do it this way with all of my cards. But with this one, it always really resonates. So the first card is things from the past. The middle card is the present, and then the third card is like going forward, so the future. So they kind of tell a story for me. So I'm going to tell the story that has come through because I think that it's going to resonate with everyone. So the first one was loyal heart. Okay, and the loyal heart has to do with trust, with those who you have those loyal relationships with people who would be considered soul family, kindred hearts. Yeah, that's enough there. Okay, so just feeding into that. And then the second one was unfinished symphony. And this is the one that I keep pulling. Okay. And unfinished symphony has to do with um, lessons that you haven't fully completed. It might be things in relationships that you haven't brought closure around. So it's what are those lessons that are outstanding that you need to close the doors on before you can fully step forward. So this was the one where I thought, like, what do you mean? What lesson haven't I learned? Which isn't, which I have to say too is I have to give myself credit. We're continually learning and evolving. This is that constant, shedding and delayering. Like we're constantly just that lotus that's opening its petals. So we always do. We just uncover one new lesson, and then there's going to be another one, right? And because it's the depth into which we can go into them is constantly expanding. And then the last one was orphaned. And orphaned is that feeling of like feeling isolated, feeling disconnected, feeling alone, that feeling of abandonment. So the story that brings through with this one is for those people, for and myself included, because these cards I pull, for my own reading, and I really truly believe that they resonate with our soul family and, often with the collective energy. So loyal heart has to do with, in the past, those people who have fit into that tribe of people who we've helped as loyal family, as loyal friends, as loyal kinfolk, and who we trusted and who we felt safe and connected with. And then the lesson comes through. So something happens in that relationship. So it could be, what came through as I was going through this is, there's often I have these journeys with these sisters who are so powerful and important to me, and something happens and I have felt judged. And it could be, it could be that I've made an action that hasn't been a moment in my strength. And sometimes it's not even. Sometimes it's just for whatever reason, something happens, but I feel judged. And that feeling where all of a sudden the dichotomy of the relationship is just changed. And all of a sudden, things are no longer the same with that person. And you just can't continue to like vibe or connect in the same way. And it really feels like you've lost a sister. And so this is where for me it was coming up, but this could also have to do, with any of your internal feminine or masculine energies, like how is your masculine showing up for you internally? And then often these things, when we look internally, we see them reflected externally to us. So it could be that, like, maybe it's the same thing for you. Maybe it's a relationship like within the world of sisterhood, or maybe it might be a relationship with your masculine, whether it's for yourself or externally. So taking a moment to look into, where are these unfinished stories? What's this unfinished symphony that you need to address so that you can move forward in your evolution, right? We need to close the doors on these things. And often being able to close the doors, bringing that lesson around for you. Are you harboring unresolved feelings? Because if you have unresolved feelings, you can go deeper with it. And so taking a look into what those feelings might be, what are those things that you need to face? What is it that you need to just like acknowledge and witness? And maybe it's just acknowledging the depth of emotion that you have around it. Maybe it's reaching out to that person, but some form of closure. And this is the other thing that I like to bring through here, is those tools and strategies that we can use for moving through that. So, maybe it's a yin yoga session, maybe it's a breathwork session, maybe it is just meditation, maybe it's going and laying in the grass somewhere, maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's picking up the phone. Right? There's so many ways that you can move through this. Maybe it's like playing your music really loud and twirling around or stomping your feet, whatever it is. These are things that can help you to move through the resolution of that unfinished story. And then the last one is just that feeling of if you don't, right? If you don't listen to your intuition, if you don't listen to your knowing, if you don't listen to your wisdom that's telling you that something is out of place, that something is not aligned, then what you're going to end up feeling is you're going to end up feeling that isolation. You're going to feel that rejection. You're going to feel that disconnection because, first of all, internally, you're not listening to some of that absolute sacred wisdom that you're holding. You're not listening to your knowing. And when you don't listen to your knowing, this is that karmic energy that comes back to you, right? So you can't run from it. We can't run from it. It just enhances the issue. And whether it doesn't feel like it's doing that in the moment, it's manifesting in some other place, usually within our bodies. And we're going to be slammed. It's usually that we get slammed is like a big whammy. It shows up sometime in our life as we move forward. So don't run from it, address it, dig it up so that you can move forward with flow, move forward with ease, move forward with grace. And just that feeling of being able to do that allows you to open into your evolution, which is just an absolutely freaking divine feeling. So do it. It's worth it. So that was what I wanted to speak into with the cards. And then the other thing that I wanted to speak into was we're coming up to the solstice. And last week we had this absolutely divine solar eclipse energy that came through. I've been hearing from so many people, they're feeling so good after the solar eclipse that it just feels like they felt that, like it was just like poof, just something delicious just popped them out of whatever this dark tunnel was that a lot of us had felt like we'd been in. And so the solstice energy is just continuing to ride on that energy. So the solstice, metaphysically, it just represents this. It's like the birthing of new. It's a new energy that we're coming into. It is symbolically really powerful because it is the day where we are seeing the longest period of sun. It's the longest day of sun in our cycle if you're here in the northern hemisphere. Um, and the sun is so symbolic of energy, so symbolic of strength and vitality. So to have this, it's like a total day of abundance, right? It's a day of celebration. So this is all of the energy that we're coming up to this weekend. And I really want to speak into it because we won't see each other until next Wednesday. So amping up for this powerful energy of abundance that we're coming into. And you can really look at the solstice like this day of like the triumph of light over the dark, and especially just with the things that are going on in the world and the way people are feeling. And again, there's just there's tension and there's all of this stuff that doesn't feel so good. And here we have um it's so connected to nature. It's so connected to the land. It's so connected to the natural cycles. So how potent is it to plug into these energies, to be present, to open your hearts, and if you really just want to tap into that energy, like how are you going to be so fully open, with open heart, with open energy, to celebrate and be part of this birthing of new energy, of abundance, of celebration. So getting super, super excited about the solstice energy. And I'd love to hear below, what are some practices that you are going to be doing? How do you celebrate the solstice? Let me know. I'd love to hear. And I know that everybody else, who's viewing this, I love community. I believe it's so important. And it's when we get to witness one another and we get to see what people are doing, this connection allows us to expand our own insights. It allows us to expand our own practices. So let's share, because by sharing, you're giving permission to others, to expand and grow and witness and do the same and show up. So share below. How are you celebrating the solstice? What energies are you birthing? What energy are you intending to ride through? And then the next thing that I wanted to do was share a beautiful, simple energy practice. I was thinking about this because on the weekend with the beautiful Corey Taylor, she had a phenomenal 3-day series called Activate Your Pineal Gland. And I got to be a part of it, where I ran a yin session on how to use the energy in your body to activate the pineal gland through delicious divine yin yoga poses. And I like to sort of weave in some of my other fortes. And so I brought in this delicious, simple, powerful, and potent energy medicine. I don't even know, pose, posture, action, whatever you'd like to call it, that allows you to connect like the heliotropic energy orbs that are around you. Or if you think toroidal sphere, it allows us to connect that the toroidal energy that surrounds you. So this is called the zip up. And basically, all that you're going to do, see if I can get this whole thing, is bring your hands. Okay, you can't see it, but my hands are down on my womb. So your central energy channel is, this is your central energy channel. And also for it's called the Sushumna Nadi. And this is where our masculine and feminine energies weave up the core of our body, called the Ida and the Pingala. I'm giving you more information that you need to know, but maybe you'd like to know it. And but it also is the central meridian line. So meridians are like the rivers of energy that flow through our body, so through our energy body. And this is our central channel, is the same central meridian lines. So to do the zip up, you start on the front, bringing your hands down to your womb. If you are a man and you're doing this, you still have an energetic womb space. So just bringing it down to the pelvic region. And then bringing in a delicious divine intention that you'd like to anchor into your body space. So maybe going back to that solstice energy. So, it could just be, I am so delicious. I am so divine. I love being in my body. I'm so grateful for my health. Inhale, drawing your hands up that central channel and all the way up, and then just pressing in below the lip. And then exhale. And then we're going to zip up the back. So with one hand, you're going to bring it down to the base of the tailbone. Inhale, beginning to draw that hand up. The other hand's going to reach around. It's like you're passing off that energy. You're going to continue to draw it up over the top of the head, down the nose, and then pressing in at the top of the lip. And you can even bring your tongue to the top of the mouth, gently activating the pineal gland. And release. And then to sort of lock it in, I always bring one finger into the belly button, one finger to the third eye. Inhale, lifting both up. And exhale, release. Ah, feels so good. All right, so that is the zip up, and it magnetizes your heliotropic orbs in together. And when we do that, your energy is going to be aligned. You're going to feel good. So if you're ever feeling like you're a little bit off, this is a really simple practice that you can come to. So keep that in your tool belt. And then what I want to show you, I'm super excited about this. So everyone who has a Facebook group, so speaking to those biz owners out there, those delicious divine entrepreneurs, so I am going to just go up here and share my screen. Oh. So for all of those entrepreneurs who have a Facebook group and who have loved streaming to from Zoom to their group. So the thing that's really nice with Zoom is that when you run your videos on Zoom, you're able to save them, and then you can build a library of trainings, of recordings. And so it's nice to be able to do it from Zoom instead of just directly in the Facebook group, because then if you're just doing the Facebook group, your video is only just locked into the Facebook group. And with clients, if there's ever a video or a training that you feel like, oh, this is perfect for you, sure, you can tag them in the post, but wouldn't it be really nice to have a library of it in your Vimeo or on YouTube where you can tag them or you can send them the direct link? So I was really disappointed because I've got several groups, one Big Beautiful Business, which the link is just below, and then also the Pleasure Prophecy, which is my free group, but it's also my signature program, my 6-month program that I offer. But in the Pleasure Prophecy, I offer weekly trainings. If you're interested, it's happening at 8 o'clock just after this. So please come and join me. It's going to be a divine activation on finding your freedom through pleasure. And I'm so excited. There's an activation in there on how to access your inner crystalline core, and it is going to be amazing. So come to that if you can. And if you missed it, come join the group because the replay will be in there. But I was really disappointed because I was trying to stream my Zooms into these groups, and Zoom was telling me that I can't because they're private groups. So this is the big excitement, is I'm going to show you how you can access this. So if you're with me, so here I am. So I've set it all up in the Pleasure Prophecy, but I'm going to go to One Big Beautiful Business because we haven't been able to stream here yet. And actually, Corey and I, when we did our solstice activation, we couldn't do a joint live, and we had to hop everybody over to Zoom. And yeah, so it would have been really awesome if we could have just ran the Zoom into the group where everyone was expecting the live to show up. So to set this up, you're going to go to your group. Okay, so here I am in One Big Beautiful Business. So then you've got the side on the page here on the left, I'm forgetting that that you see the page. Okay, so we're gonna scroll down and then you're gonna go to settings, open up settings, and then you're going to scroll all the way down where it says apps. Okay, so then you're gonna click on apps and then you're gonna select add apps and then you're gonna go and search Zoom. So that there's a search bar on the left there, select Zoom, click it, and then you're going to select add. For whatever reason, there were changes between Facebook and Zoom that changed this. And now you're going to be able to run your Zooms live in your private groups. Okay, so that was definitely a frustration for me. And I was so excited to discover that it had this super simple remedy. So I had to bring that through because I know I'm not the only one who was disappointed that I couldn't run my Zooms to my private Facebook group. So there you go. You have it. Super easy setup. I hope that that brings you so much joy and excitement as it did for me. And the last thing I just wanted to talk about was that if you were interested in the yin to activate your pineal gland, please shoot me a message. Let me know. I would love to speak more into that with you. It is accessible. It was part of a paid program with Corey Taylor, but I would love to offer it at a small fee, probably $11. But it's absolutely divine, and there's nothing more magical than feeling the activation of your pineal gland in your body. So I would love to bring that bliss to you. So reach out if that's something you're excited about. And I also want to speak about the Pleasure Prophecy, which is my signature program. It's a 6-month program, and it is absolutely divine. So for all those, so as you know, I am a sacred pleasure and embodiment coach. And the development of the Pleasure Prophecy came through totally as a mistake. It was not on my radar to become a sacred pleasure coach. It was not on my radar to dive into. It was on my radar, my personal radar. I was going through process of healing through a journey with sacred pleasure or sacred sexuality. And it was by going through that journey myself, I started to have this incredibly divine connection with Mary Magdalene and Yeshua. And they were showing up as guides. And I was thinking, wow, these are super potent meditations. This communication that's coming through is blowing my mind. And then I was told, I'm by Mary, this isn't just for you. She's bringing it through because I am meant to share it. So this is the prophecy side of it. So this is the Pleasure Prophecy. And this is because this is the truth about sex has been buried for centuries. And sacred sexuality is the truth around sexuality. And the way we have grown up in the decades that we've been around has completely distorted the concept around sexuality. And the Pleasure Prophecy here is here to completely break down those walls so that we can come to a healthy, sacred practice where we feel confident, where we feel powerful, where we feel loved, where we feel respected, where there is no shame, there is no guilt, there is no embarrassment about us being who we are, expressing who we are here in these bodies. So the Pleasure Prophecy is a space for unstoppable women who are ready to consciously align with their pleasure tone. So a huge part of this is discovering your own pleasure tone. And I'm speaking more about that in 5 minutes in my group in the Pleasure Prophecy. So please hop over and join me there if you're interested. And by connecting to your pleasure tone will allow you to live a life connected to absolute abundance and beauty. So for those women who have felt shame, suppression, disconnect, by showing up in their full expression, the 6-month deep dive is for you to step into the embodiment of sensuality, joy, and self-love. It's time for you to own it. And it's time for you to own it so that you can send that ripple effect out to all of the women around you. This program is going to be the foundations for you to living a stable life. And it's going to allow you to anchor your dreams into reality because we are vibrational beings who live in a vibrational world. And the vibe that you live at is the vibe you experience at. So you want to anchor that pleasure tone and live the most delicious, high vibe life. It doesn't mean you're going to bypass all the other things. There's still going to be everything, but you're going to be anchored in your body. You are going to have full embodiment of the practices that are going to allow you to experience those things that would normally just knock us right off of our stools. And you're going to be able to go through it, feel it, and come around the other side with such trust and confidence in the universe that everything is working out in your favor. So please head to my website, www.megwilliams.org, and head on the tab to the pleasure prophecy and book a call with me on let's do a discovery call so we can talk about whether this is for you. It is going to change your life. It is potent. You are going to love it, beautiful sisters, as you step into the pleasure priestess that you are. So thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute joy. I look forward to these every week. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. In the comments, drop anything that you want to know more about. I love you so much, and I will see you soon.